give you a little bit of information about Mary Winfrey, she is a past district trustee here in the Carolinas district. This is her first year, and we are very excited to have her as our district membership chairman. Last year as club president of her club, which was not the first time, but she hosted very recently a membership drive that, correct me if I'm wrong, brought in 8 or 9 new members.
10
new members, and it was a virtual membership drive. So that is why we have asked her tonight to come and share that information with you all. We are at 31 participants, and it is 7:02. So Mary, I'm going to turn it over to you.
All right. Thank you, Leah. I am really excited to be here with you all to talk about something that I absolutely love, that is growing the Kiwanis family. I'm going to take a moment and share my screen with you so we can get right to work. And there it is. I had the opportunity a couple years ago, Leah, I can't remember how long it's been. Seems like yesterday, but I'm sure it's been a couple of years ago, to talk about Kiwanis family as my people. And I got that from who's your people, from something that is very often said when we visit homes here in southeastern Robeson County even. And my grandmother used to question my friends when they came to visit our home about who their people were. Who's your family? And she wanted to know because she wanted to make sure that I was hanging out with the right folks, right? And in Kiwanis, I found out that these are all the right folks. And Kiwanians have become my people as much as my family has become my people. So I'm excited to share with you what we've done in Robeson Lumberton just recently due to the pandemic to grow our club. We knew that we were going to lose some of our members. And as club president, I just wanted to end the year with a plus and not a minus. And so we had enlisted the help of a membership committee chairperson that I thought was perfect for the job. And as I talk about what we did tonight, you will agree that he also was perfect for the job. So let's talk about how to conduct a virtual membership drive and get results. Let me figure out how to get this going. The first thing that we're going to do, obviously, is solicit Team Kiwanis. As Governor Chris has said, for 2020, 2021, we're going to play hard, play smart, and play together. If we're going to grow our Kiwanis clubs, we must work together. So I hope tonight that you will feel energized at the end of this webinar to go pull your team together and grow your club. I think it's important for us to think about who we are. Who is our organization? What do we do that makes a difference, that is the reason anyone would want to join forces with us? So here we have the defining statement. Kiwanis is a global organization of volunteers dedicated to improving the world one child and one community at a time. Now, you all are probably the most dedicated Kiwanians in your club. That's why you're here tonight, right? So I don't need to tell you why this statement is important, but it is important that we remind our membership of who we are and why we exist. We exist to serve the children of the world. And of course, we must have a strong team to be able to continue the things that Kiwanis is known for. Terrific kids, K-Kids, Builders Club, Bugs, CKI, all of our SLP programs, Key Club, Action Club, Key Leader, of course. We must have boots on the ground, hands and feet to make these things possible. So how is growth accomplished, especially during the pandemic, this unprecedented time that none of us expected to be in, but here we are. And we know that the needs of children have not decreased by any means during this pandemic, but have more than likely increased, or at least have changed in each of our respective communities. I believe the way that we grow during this pandemic is to start with a membership committee. So we're going to talk a little bit more in detail tonight than we have in recent sessions about membership, about the role of the membership committee. We're also going to ask every club in the Carolinas district to form a membership committee by the end of December 2020. I'll repeat that because I think it's important. We're going to ask every club to form a membership committee by December 2020, whether you're meeting in person, online, or not at all. We need to continue to focus on membership. And we're not going to talk a lot about membership retention and engagement tonight because we're talking about virtual recruiting. But it is important that your membership committee continue to focus on the things that a membership committee focuses on. And you see here that I've said, continue the work. Kiwanis International is offering all sorts of advices for clubs. So is the Carolinas District. Here we are tonight on ways to stay connected and to continue the work that we do in the communities during this global pandemic. So you may be asking, if your club does not have a membership committee, why do we need a membership committee? Well, here are a few reasons why. And I'm going to ask you to make a note, make a personal note about which of these things pertain to what your club needs at this time. So a membership committee is important to make membership topics a priority. Someone needs to be focusing on the things that are important to the membership topics, to develop a membership recruitment plan, to focus on retention and engagement, and to help build a strong club membership. We need a membership committee to help create a vibrant, rewarding membership experience. A membership committee looks like a chairperson and 2 to 3 club members. Which one of these things do you need right now in your club? What's missing in your club from this list that you need? Make a note. So I mentioned already that a committee is made up of a chairperson and 2 to 3 members, at least 2 to 3, maybe more if yours is a larger club. You would allow the chairperson to build the committee, and the committee members should reflect the club membership. And what I mean by that is your membership committee should be a good representation of what your club is or what you want it to be. Male, female, various ages, various skill sets. And the more diverse your committee is, the stronger it's going to be. And I would encourage you to consider inviting a young professional to your membership committee. And the reason is their network is going to be very different than the network of some of your older, more seasoned members. Who's going to lead your membership committee? So these are some of the qualifications that you should consider when selecting a membership chairperson. Someone who is passionate about Kiwanis, who understands the importance of inviting new members and retaining current members, someone who encourages and motivates team members, who focuses on innovation, who is well connected in the community, who is energetic and outgoing. So I'm asking you to make a note again. Tell me who comes to mind. Make a note. Who did I just describe in your club? Who fits most of these qualities in your club? So the duties of the membership committee include these items that I've listed here. And again, I'm going to ask you to make a note of which of these really are needed in your club. The membership committee is going to, of course, monitor all aspects of membership, which include growth, retention, and engagement. This committee is going to focus on setting membership goals. How much does your club want or need to grow in the coming year? They're going to plan membership drives and events. They're going to identify and invite new members. This committee is going to focus on who you're going to invite to come to the club, with the help, of course, of your general membership. Once members are approved by your board, they're going to induct your new members to the club. They're going to plan and conduct a new member orientation. Does your club have a new member orientation? Do your new members know what they can expect from Kiwanis and what Kiwanis expects of them? Do they know the history of your club? If not, develop a new member orientation. Your membership committee is going to focus on that and probably solicit the help of members who've been in the club for some time that can share the history and what has been unique about your club. There is a template available on the Kiwanis International website. You don't have to build an orientation from scratch. One of the wonderful things that I say again and again about being a part of Kiwanis International is we don't have to reinvent the wheel. Many of the tools that we need to be successful are available to us, both at KI and at the Carolinas district level. The membership committee is going to develop a retention plan. What do we need to do to retain the members once we have them? Do we need a mentor program? What things are we going to do to involve our members so that they stay? They're going to create an overall positive member experience and possibly conduct annually or every other year a member survey to find out what members really think about their experience in Kiwanis. So we are talking about attracting new members tonight, and I think it's important for us to think about how we're going to do that and what recruiting looks like. I am in the recruiting business. It's my profession. So when I talk about things like orientation, they're simple for me. Recruiting is simple for me. It's what I do. But not everyone in your club knows how to recruit or is comfortable with making the ask. So I think it's important to do some education with your club so that they know how to do it and that they feel comfortable making the ask. So recruiting now is very similar to what we do during traditional times or non-COVID times or pre or post-COVID times. And so some of the things that we can focus on is relationship marketing. Who do we know? Who's in our network that we can bring into Kiwanis? That's relationship marketing. Or targeted marketing, where we assess the membership of our club to determine what skill sets we have and what we're missing and who do we need to target based on skill sets. Holding a membership drive. We know that annually the Carolinas district is going to come out with a membership contest, and we want to be involved and prepared to do that. Now is the time to prepare your membership for a membership drive in the spring. The other thing we could do to attract new members is to invite them to participate in service or fundraising projects. That's something that we've always done. Maybe you're holding an online fundraiser or an online service project. Invite someone to participate in it. My club held an online service project to read to children. I noticed recently that our public library is doing the same and has invited various people from our community to participate in that. We can still invite people to participate in our service projects and our fundraisers, even though they are online. Okay, and plan a special online event or membership options for post-COVID. So what we're doing now might be very different than how we're going to recruit members once we're able to meet safely in person. The other thing I think is important is that we must remember the why. People join Kiwanis for why we exist. So once we formed a membership committee, it's important now that the committee develops a plan. And this is exactly what we did in Robinson Lumberton as we prepared for our virtual event. We looked at our membership and considered who was in it. There is a tool available to us on Kiwanis International's website. It's called a roster analysis. Use it. Go find it. Search in Google Kiwanis membership training tools, and you can find a roster analysis that you can use. And I do have a picture of it that I'm going to share with you here soon. And then create a list of prospective members with contact information. Sometimes a member will say to me, hey, I think we should invite Joe Brown to join Kiwanis. I have no idea who Joe Brown is, where he works, what his number is, how to reach him. So it's important that we also have contact information to provide to our membership committee when we engage others to be involved. And then, of course, set a date for the virtual membership event. Plan for it. Know when it's going to be. Give yourself lead time to prepare a roster of prospective members, set a date, and invite others to be involved. But it's important that it's set out far enough that you can plan thoroughly for the event. And of course, you want to engage your membership. Even though the membership committee is focusing on it, we want everyone involved so that we can include everyone's network of people. And then the last thing is to invite people to come. And as I mentioned before, not everyone is comfortable or knows how to invite someone to come to Kiwanis. So here are some tips that can be shared with both your membership committee and your general membership. Take some time to know what are the benefits of membership in your club. Why would someone want to join your club? And if that's a short list, consider becoming flexible and changing some things in your club so that you are more attractive to the people that you want to attract to your club. What do you love most about your club? Make a note. Feel free to do that right now. Think about what you love most about your club that you want to share with others. What is your club's community impact? What are you doing that's making a difference in the community? Do people in your community know what that is? How are you sharing it? And create an elevator speech. What's that? If you had a few moments in an elevator from one floor to the next to tell someone what Kiwanis is about, what would you tell them? Practice it. Be prepared to tell someone what you love about Kiwanis. And just remember that the more hearts and more hands and feet that we have in Kiwanis is the more opportunity that we have to serve and to partner with others. So we'll focus a little bit now on targeted recruiting. And I've mentioned the roster analysis already, and here it is for you. If you had a list of your membership and the skill sets that your membership has, just check it off against this roster analysis. Think about the service projects that you have, the service projects that you want to have, and determine who or what skill sets you're going to seek in your club. And then you can use a tool like the Chamber Directory to identify companies where you can find those skill sets. And oftentimes with your Chamber Directory, you're also going to find contact information. A lot of times the Chamber Directory can be picked up on paper, or considering where we're doing these days, you can look it up online. And there are other membership type sites out there like SHRM, which is HR Association. Use that to identify prospective members as well. And although I believe this is a great way to identify prospective members, I think the number one way to identify members is to engage your membership. Who are their colleagues? Do they have family members they can invite? I'm sure that everyone in your club has someone that they work with that they have not invited yet, haven't thought about it, or maybe they've thought about it and they just haven't been comfortable with inviting them. We all have friends that have skills that match our skills, or they have interests that we have that we could bring into Kiwanis. So the idea is essentially to target people, to make this a priority and to focus on it. Your membership committee is going to take the lead, but I believe it takes everyone's involvement. So we talk a lot about how are we going to do it now that we're in the middle of a pandemic? How we do it very well could be different, is going to be different in many ways than what we did pre-COVID. But the basics of it will remain the same. Other groups of people to consider to invite to your club are family and friends, as I've mentioned, coworkers, or clients, local business owners, or parents of SLP members. So when your club is meeting, when Key Club is meeting again, you go to open house, you meet some of the parents, you invite them to join. Or what about your neighbors? A lot of us live in neighborhoods where people move in. They don't know a lot of folks. We just hired a new employee in my office who was very involved in her community previously, volunteered, I believe, with United Way. I met with her recently. She said, hey, I want to get to know some people here. Can you help me? Absolutely. Come to Young Professionals. And she's really excited about it. People are waiting to be asked. I believe that. People are waiting to be asked to join. We just need to make the ask. We have fellow church members who would be interested, especially now that we're not congregating with our church family. They're looking for something to do. And meeting virtually gives folks an opportunity to get together with others and in the future to serve, right? Once they've joined. Fellow parents, PTO, Little League, wherever you're involved with families, teachers and principals. What about insurance agents, accountants, bankers? So now we're going to go into more about what Robinson Lumberton did to hold a successful virtual event. And essentially, our membership committee met 3 or 4 times. The committee's made up of a guy who's in his 40s. He is our membership chairperson. He's only been in Kiwanis a year and a half. But when I invited him to join Kiwanis, I knew I wanted him to help with the membership committee because of his connections in the community. He's a regional manager with North Carolina Works, or some of you may know it as Employment Security Commission. He has a huge network. He volunteers in other organizations, and I knew he was going to be great for membership committee if I could just get him to join the club. And I did convince him to join. He did accept the responsibility. He's done an outstanding job. I had a conversation with him today. He's excited that the enrollment fee has been waived yet again for KI and Carolinas District. And he is focused on membership. And that's exactly what we want. So what we did was form this committee. We have an older gentleman who has been, who served as president of our club, and he didn't have anything to do at the time. And if you've served as president and immediate past president, and now you've taken a seat in the back of the room, there's all that experience and knowledge just sitting there. So it is important to find folks who are not involved and get them engaged on a committee. And he was great for our committee. We also have a young professional who happens to be my daughter. She attended mid-year conference and went to a forum on membership. And speaking of that, when we all went together to mid-year, we decided who was going to go to what. So we brought back a vast knowledge of the information that was provided at mid-year. And then we got together and shared the ideas that we had gained. So because Caitlin participated in those forums, she was a great asset to our membership committee. The other reason she was an asset is because she's young, and we wanted to recruit more young people into our club. So the committee met a number of times. We set a date for our virtual event. We created a list of prospects, both from our networks, from our assessment, and by talking to members to say, who do you know that we should add to this list? We created a list of about 25 individuals, and then we began to invite them. And we invited them by picking up the phone, calling them to tell them that we were interested in them, that someone in our club had referred them and believed that they would be an asset to our club and that our club would be good for them as well. And we would like them to participate in an event in 3 weeks. We got their email addresses. We sent them an email inviting them to participate, and to get the link to the meeting, they had to RSVP. Now, we could have sent that link out when we initially sent the email, but we really wanted to know who was going to be there and who we could anticipate having. So we asked them to RSVP, just like we did for tonight, and then we sent them an email with a link to the meeting. And what we were doing by making contact a number of times was keeping this in the forefront of their minds. We didn't tell them one time and hope that they were going to be there 3 weeks later. We kept sending information to them to keep it in the forefront of their mind. And then just before the meeting, we sent a reminder email. We also invited people that we know really love Kiwanis, have been really supportive of things that we've done, either by giving of their time or their financial means, to talk about what their experience had been in Kiwanis, to encourage these members to join. When people love what they do, other people want to join forces with them. We knew that, and we invited people like Dr. Katie Lowry, who is a very kind-hearted, compassionate pediatrician in our community. She's well known. People love her. So we wanted her to participate. We also invited individuals from the Kiwanis leadership from the district. Chris White was there. Our Lieutenant Governor was there to encourage people to join as well. The advantage to meeting the way we're meeting right now is you can bring people into your meetings without them leaving their home, without the windshield time, to create a more diverse experience for those people that you do invite. The thing we knew that we needed to do once this event took place was we needed to focus on hospitality. We wanted everyone who was there to feel welcome. The prospective members and our guests who were there with us that night. So we made it a point to make introductions, to make sure everyone knew each other, got to meet each other, and to understand why that individual was there. Without the introduction, they wouldn't have known that Chris White was our governor-elect, or they may not have known who our president was or our president-elect. So it was important to make those introductions and to make people feel welcome to be there. So remember that we started out with a list of about 25 individuals that we are continuing to add to, by the way. And from that event, we were able to deliver 6 new member applications to our board the following week. I don't know if you all have pulled the new member application from KI's website. It's now a fillable form. Years ago, we needed to print it, fill it out with paper. We had that available along with a fact sheet about our club that we emailed to each individual that participated that night after the meeting so that they had it readily available to them, could complete it and forward it to us. So not only did they participate in the meeting, but they heard from us again after the meeting by email and later by phone. So here are some ideas that we put together for you for your virtual meeting. So maybe your meeting will be like ours, where we talked about the history of our club. We had someone talk about our service projects and our fundraisers, because those are important things for people to know about when they're getting involved with us, because we want them to be involved. Or maybe you want to do something a little bit different and follow some of the things that other organizations have been doing, like the Carolinas District or KI. Maybe you want to have a speaker come and just talk about some random topic, something that's maybe interesting to the group of participants that you've invited. Or maybe you want to have a fun activity and play a trivia game. And there are a number of things here listed that you can do virtually. Or maybe you want to invite others for an interclub and bring clubs together and have your prospective members see the camaraderie between members of the Kiwanis family, even though they're not in the same club. And I think that's a great way to involve members from other clubs. Or maybe you want to make it a happy hour where you play a game and everybody brings their own favorite beverage. But there are a number of ways you can do this. The way we did it was to talk about the history of our club and what our service projects and fundraisers are, and to have people share what their experience is. But you can be as creative with this as you want to be. But I think the main thing to focus on is to have a plan, develop a plan, follow it through till you get to the event, and make sure you make the ask at the event. We've provided you some information tonight, but there is a lot more information available to you from a number of resources, starting with Kiwanis International website. So I encourage you to dig deeper on your own to have a better understanding of what tools are available to you so that you can gain ideas, be creative in what you do. The way we did it in Robinson Lumberton absolutely worked for us. Some of these same methods have worked for the North Myrtle Beach Little River Club. We built a club in the middle of a pandemic. If we can build a whole club in the middle of a pandemic, we can absolutely grow our clubs. The Kiwanis International website has a number of resources available. Just Google, it's easier just to Google Kiwanis Membership Committee or Membership Training and find all sorts of tools there. The Carolinas District is offering all sorts of information on the website and CD News. You'll see a newsletter about membership every month. Use the tips and tools that are available there as well. And I encourage you to participate in conferences and conventions. When I became president of Robinson Lumberton, it had been a number of years since we had participated in conferences and conventions regularly. It was kind of something that we did on occasion, but we have it budgeted to be able to send participants from our club to conferences and conventions. I've never gone to a conference or a convention that I did not feel inspired by ideas that were shared, service projects that clubs are completing. I felt love and developed friendships, and it is so very important that we encourage our club members to participate. I'd love to hang out there and talk about it a lot more, but I think I've driven home the point. Of course, there are all sorts of club leadership education opportunities. You know, we have club coaching in the Carolinas. Woohoo, started right here. That's a wonderful opportunity for just a few hours of your time and not a lot of money to find out what you need to do to strengthen your club and, of course, to grow your club. And, of course, now that we're all meeting virtually, we have an opportunity to stay home in the comfort of our homes or in our offices and participate in virtual interclubs. Find out when other clubs are holding their virtual meetings, participate, hold an interclub, earn an interclub patch. And of course, we have on Kiwanis social media, Lunch with a Leader. If you haven't participated in one of those, you can do it tonight because they're recorded and they're saved there. Go find one, find a topic that is important to your club right now. Sit back and enjoy. And of course, read the Kiwanis magazine. There are often ideas there about how to grow your membership, and there are tools that you can use to think about who you're going to invite to your club. So I believe that membership growth begins with each of us. So based on the ideas that I've shared with you tonight, make a note about an individual that you can invite to Kiwanis today. And I encourage you to take the time to send someone a text message to talk about how much you love Kiwanis. Send them an email, pick up the phone, and make a phone call. But invite someone to this thing that we love so much and invite them to make a difference in your community. I'm Mary Winfrey, your district membership committee chair, and I want to help you grow your clubs. Invite me to talk to your clubs, send me an email. if there's anything that we've talked about tonight that you want to dig deeper into, I would be honored to help you do that. I've had the opportunity now to participate in a number of division council meetings. I would love to help you. And I talked about a goal we have of building a membership committee for every single club in December. I want to leave that with you. By December, form a membership committee. If you will form a membership committee and get them focused on the things that we've talked about tonight, I promise you, you will grow your club. The other thing that we've experienced over the past few years is the Carolinas district membership is shrinking. And this is one year that I want us to stop talking about growing our clubs and grow our clubs. And let's end the year with 250 more members than we started it with. And the way we're going to do that is to be very strategic in how we do it. I believe we can do it. I believe people are looking for something to do in the middle of this pandemic to get their minds off of it, to focus on doing good. And I think nothing has made us pause and think about the importance of doing good as being in the middle of a pandemic that is affecting everybody in the world. And being the global organization that we are, this is the perfect time for us to take advantage of that. So please go back to your club, use some of these ideas. Look at the notes that you've made tonight about the things that are important to your club to determine what it is you really need to focus on for your club to grow the membership. When we meet in the future, we'll talk about retention and engagement. But right now, I'd like to see us think about growth, and we'll get to that. It is important for us to think about retention while we're not meeting, to follow up with our members and see how they are. Get them engaged in your Zoom meetings or your whatever virtual tool that you're using so that we don't lose them. They're important. I think it's also important for us to know that our membership is well. If you're not seeing folks, there could be a reason for that. Follow up with them and see where they are. Let's put a plan together. Tell me how I can help you, and let's grow Kiwanis in the Carolinas district. Are there any questions?
Mary, the slides that you just reviewed, will they be sent to each one of us?
I wasn't planning to do that, but I'll be glad to share them.
Yeah, we'll be having a recording of this available from our website for anybody that wants to click the link and watch.
Thank you for that, Leah. I knew that. Thank you. Are there any questions? Is there anything that I can help anyone with?
Yeah, Mary?
Yes.
Bill Rickey with the Bluffton Club, South Carolina.
Hi there.
Hi. Our biggest issue, I think, is young professionals, trying to get them involved. We have a large retirement area. We just dropped 7 members, but at the same time, we just inducted 2, and we have 3 applications awaiting board action this month. So we're doing okay, but we only have 3 members I would consider to be called young professionals, and we really need to grow that.
Okay.
Any hint you could give us or help you give us along that line? I will say our new president is a real go-getter. She's 26 years old, and she's going to be a big help in getting that going. And I am the membership chair of the club. She's working on it with me. But we need some ideas on how to get more of the young people involved.
Well, Bill, it sounds like you're well on your way. You have 3 young professionals. Each of them has a huge network. I'm sure you've seen them looking at their telephones. Work with them, pull them together, and have them begin inviting folks. But I have to first ask you, what do you have in your club that is attractive to young professionals? What are you willing to do to become attractive to young professionals? And those are things you need to think about. I love young professionals because they're innovative, they're creative, and yes, they're looking at their telephones, but while they're looking at those telephones, they're often multitasking. They're not just texting their friends, and they're using them to get a number of things done, and they can use those same electronic devices to promote your club because they are electronically savvy. They know how to use social media. You need them. I need them. I need them at work, and I definitely need them in Kiwanis. They're energetic, and they can do a lot of the things that as we get older, we can't do. The young professionals are our succession plan. So if you have 3 young professionals in your club, give them a goal. Maybe they can each invite 3 more young professionals and then you have a dozen.
Mayor, our young professionals held a masquerade ball was it last year or the year before last? And that was a pretty good event. They do events that are different and fun, and then they invite their friends, and then they invite the club membership to come to that. So
Yes.
my wife and I participated at that event, and we actually had some of those young people join after that event.
That's right. One idea I didn't share with you that I'd like to mention now is when you have something like a golf tournament where people need to register to be involved, use that as a tool to identify prospective members. We've done that in our club. We sent out a survey after our golf tournament to find out what the experience was at our event. And the very last question that we asked in that electronic survey was, are you interested in joining Kiwanis? And we sent it out to 60 golfers that we had email addresses to. We had about 35 responses, and we did have 2 individuals want to join our club. And of course, we've made contact with them and had conversations with them about how to do that and why they're interested.
This is Tom McElveen. I'm Salisbury membership in Salisbury, North Carolina. This is our centennial year, so we've had a lot planned, that a lot has gone to the wayside as well. For things that we had planned for centennial year. One of the things that we are questioning in the club is we have just started in our small town meeting back at our country club in our regular meeting spot just the last few weeks. We have had really wanted to continue both not only meeting in person for those that are coming out, but also continuing the Zoom meeting as part of our regular meeting. And we have found that membership in the club, we're getting a different audience in both formats. It's a lot of work. I won't say that it's easy, but it's something that I think that I'm pushing for, and hopefully we can continue. I'm wondering how many other clubs are doing both formats.
Leah, do you have an answer for that?
I don't have an exact answer for you, but I would say that not a majority of our clubs are able to meet in person yet, but those that are, I would say probably at least half are doing that hybrid.
I found that, just based on the age, again, with the young professionals all the way up to folks in our club that are in their 80s and 90s, that we have found that some were very comfortable with Zoom. They were fine with doing that, but they aren't comfortable coming back yet. And I don't want those folks to fall to the wayside.
Right.
But again, it takes a lot of coordination effort, and especially in a smaller club like ours, to keep everyone engaged. So that's been one of our challenges, is actually retention.
Well, I love that you are focusing on engaging everyone and retaining everyone. And that's exactly what we need to do. And let's not forget about our existing membership while we're focusing on growth. So kudos to you for doing that. And kudos to you for being flexible. And I think that's something that we absolutely must continue to think about. If not before COVID, certainly in the midst of COVID, we've been reminded that we must be flexible. Change is inevitable, and we must go with it, right?
Mary.
Yes.
Hi. Hey.
And George and Kay.
Good to
We
see
are probably safely the newest club, and we have exactly one in-person meeting under our belts. But we did both. We went ahead and set up a computer with a Zoom option. Honestly, no one came in by Zoom, but we had about 2/3 of the club there in person. We're going to continue to offer that Zoom. And if nobody comes in, it's okay. But it's still giving them that easy way to participate.
I was there for that, and the computer just sat in the middle of the room. And we did watch for someone to join, but no one did. I thought that was a great idea. I love that you did that. And again, these are all ideas that we can use in any club. These guys are from the North Myrtle Beach Little River Club that was just chartered. And they used a lot of the things that we're talking about tonight to successfully build a club. And now we can successfully grow our clubs from those same ideas.
One thing that we've learned through Zoom is that we had members of that had been longtime members of the club that felt again that they could join us for our lunch meeting because of their busy, hectic schedules. We have a couple college presidents that are members of the club, but as they say, they're building an airplane in the air at their universities. So they are really have their hands full. And we find a lot of young professionals have their hands full. And I think the ongoing Zoom idea, it's a hybrid, we're all learning, and that may be something to even continue beyond the pandemic.
Yes, I think you're absolutely right about that. We hope to have everyone in the same room at some point, but I think it's great to give an option to those folks who oftentimes can't make a meeting because they can't be away from the office an hour and a half that it takes to commute and participate in the meeting. So yes, we're definitely going to see some change as a result of pandemic, and I don't think it's a bad thing.
Hey,
Mary,
Mary.
along the lines of Zoom meetings and in-person meetings, our club in Southport, Oak Island, we have not held any in-person meetings. They've all been Zoom. However, as the months went on and the weather got better, since we're a beach community, and I think several of the North Carolina clubs are beach communities, but it could also be done at other sites. We had social hours on the beach on a particular day for about an hour and a half. And it was originally set up to improve the collegial atmosphere, if you will, getting members back together who had been apart, staying in their homes for several months. But also we brought some prospective members to those social hours as well, so they could meet and see what the people are all about. And fortunately, 2 or 3 of those did join us as new members. So it was an easy way to do it. It was very inexpensive. Could be done at some other outside site other than the beach, you know, lots of where it was to allow social distancing, which made people more comfortable.
At the Kiwanis Club of Aiken, we're going hybrid. So we meet at a restaurant, we have a laptop, but what's interesting, we have like a portable USB camera. So it's not just stuck in the middle of the laptop. So you can get an extension cord and you can get the little tripod, and you could have a little bit more flexibility of showing the crowd rather than just being in one location. In addition, we've decided that we used to have a board meeting before a meeting, but now we're going to just have a board meeting separately, just strictly via Zoom. And we're going to keep the board meetings just strictly via Zoom. And that was voted upon by the club.
Awesome. And if we get some of these tools from you, we could probably get them with a Kiwanis logo on it, right?
maybe not the camera.
I love hearing the innovative ideas. I love that you are trying new things and being flexible and making membership still possible, even in the midst of all of this. This is absolutely what this is about. I love that we're sharing these ideas now. Does anyone else have an idea you'd like to share?
Mary, I'd like to say one, and it goes to membership, but it's after you get the members sign up and they're in the club and they've been to a couple meetings and they fall into a group. I was one of those members. I came to our club and I didn't really know many people. Some of the guys that I knew, I just sat with them, but the members that have been there for a long time, I didn't know them, and they didn't come to my table. I didn't go to the table, so I sat with the people that I knew. A year went on, I wasn't engaged. Had it not been for Mary or a couple of the other members, I probably would have left because I felt that I wasn't involved and they weren't involved with me. But an idea that came from Zoom is these breakout sessions. Mary and I were talking about this last night. When you do a breakout session on Zoom, it kind of puts people in groups that they don't know one another. You don't have any control where they're going to sit in that breakout group. So when we meet, for me as president this year, I went from not being engaged to somehow being president. But for me this year, when we meet in person, and she's a very influential person. When we meet, I'm going to set the tables up and have place cards so that I can mix the members up. We have a lot of new members. I don't want them to get disenchanted and leave after their first year because they were not engaged. They need to sit with our older members. They need to sit with our younger members. We need to invite the young professionals in and cover their meals if we have to, just so that they can feel like, man, this will be the next step for us. So to me, it's socialization like we do on Facebook, but to do it in person. It's so easy to sit with your comfortable group, but you have to move outside your comfort zone.
Well, one thing that
Shuffle
we've
the
done,
desk.
pardon me, one thing that we've done in our club, I served as president twice, by the way. And when I was president 5 years ago of Robinson Lumberton, sometimes we would not have a speaker, and I knew that we had to have an interesting meeting regardless. So I always had a plan and something that we could do. And one of our meetings, I came in with a 11 by 13 sheet paper with a child on it. Some were male, some were female. They were different nationalities, just something I found on the internet, and I printed it really big. And when the members came into the room, they each had to take a number and sit at the table. They pulled a number out of a hat and sit at the table with that number. And we talked about a number of topics. I gave each table a topic to talk about. And maybe one of them was, let's discuss the issues facing children in our community. Another one was to talk about different ways that we could serve children in our community. And they essentially clothed the children. I brought construction paper and glue, no scissors, and they had to design an outfit with their ideas. That's what happens when you put Mary in charge. But what happened was it forced our members to sit with someone that they didn't know or that they didn't normally sit with for lunch, and exchange ideas and talk about ways that we can serve our community. I called those our Kiwanis kids. And for several weeks, I hung them on a string like a clothesline. I brought Kiwanis kids to our meetings to remind us of why we were there and what we could do to make a difference in the lives of children in Robeson County. So there are all sorts of things that you can do to engage your membership and to get people to know each other. Anyone else want to share something? Anyone want to share something that you gained from this tonight that you'll be able to take back to your club?
Have an organized plan.
Yes, absolutely.
I have a few comments. I'd like to make just very briefly. One, is the Carolinas district blessed or what to have Mary Winfrey as our membership development chair?
Thank you.
Isn't that awesome?
Thank you.
Second comment. So the theme this year is Team Kiwanis, play hard, play smart, play together. You see the basketball and the logo there. It's a sports theme, if you will. So tonight, Mary Winfrey is playing hurt. She's an all-star. She has a hurt hind paw or a hurt leg. All I know is she ran into a tire somehow. And there's probably a long story behind it, but Mary is playing hurt and did this fabulous job tonight. The third point is this. I attended her Robinson Lumberton event. And one of the things they did, and she mentioned this kind of tangentially, but it made a great impact on me, is they actually had a PowerPoint presentation, very short, just a short number of slides they put on, but a couple of meaningful slides, and she mentioned it briefly, but they listed all of the nonprofits in their area that their club supported. And they listed them where everyone on the screen, all the visitors, all the potential members could see all the impact they were making in the community. Then they listed their fundraisers, and they also had a slide on the history of the club. And I think having a PowerPoint presentation, even a brief one, they had some standard slides, like you saw the slide with the SLP programs. That was a standard one. The defining statement of Kiwanis was a standard one. But then for each club, you could have a tailored one to your club. These are the nonprofits our club serves and the organizations we support. Here are the fundraisers that help support them. And I think that makes a very positive impact to hopefully get these prospective members to join your club. But again, Mary, you've done a fabulous job. If anyone else has questions, please, I didn't want to interrupt questions, but I did want to make those comments. Thank you so much, Mary.
Thank you. Thank you for your leadership. I love your new logo this year, and we're going to try to apply that to what we're doing. We're going to take the ball and run with it, Chris. And I believe I've heard from someone that keeps trying to talk, Gerald Decker.
Well, I think you did a great job, and I'm glad I was able to make it tonight. But my
you.
question I brought up with our membership meeting yesterday was, I believe first and foremost that retention is the most important thing, and I want to echo the comments that Tito made, that I believe that we have a lot of improvement to make on how we incorporate new members into our clubs and make them feel like they're part of the club. But I'd also like to know if and when there's plans to talk about retention. I mean, have surveys been done about why people leave and what actions we can take to try to look out for those reasons, and what can we do to improve retention? You know, it's that old theory that I hate to put water in the tub until I have the plug in the hole. You know?
Gerald, I feel strongly that retention happens at the club level. And there are a number of things that we can do as clubs to retain our members. You know your members better than Carolina's District or KI does. I would like to do this again. And the reason Tito's talking about breakout sessions is because we talked about the great way to do this. And I would like us to have another webinar where we talk about retention and engagement and work together just like we're doing right now, except in breakout sessions, and share ideas and come back together to brainstorm how we can work together as a team to retain our members. It's utterly important. I agree with you. What's the point in recruiting members if we're not going to retain them? What's the point if we're not going to engage them? So I want us to do that. Yes, Leah.
I'm thinking that would be a great forum for January, once we have those membership committees in place by December.
So let's focus on, let's do
Gerald.
this in baby steps, and let's get that membership committee formed for each of your clubs. If you need help, if you want me to talk to your membership committee, I am willing to do that. We've set a goal. We're going to end the year with 250 members. That doesn't mean we're going to recruit 250. We're going to have to recruit more because people are going to come and people are going to go. What are you going to do to contribute to that goal that we've set for the Carolinas District this year? I would be happy to talk to you individually. I'll be happy to talk to your divisions. Tell me how I can help you. I'm here for that.